So today, Eric Garner's killer and medical examiner did rule it a homicide. Officer Pantaleo in New York got away with it. Grand jury in Staten Island decided not to indict him. Now, is he alone? The Darren Wilsons of the world who got away with it in Ferguson and this cop in New York who got away with it have a lot of brother in arms. According to FBI's Uniform Crime Report, in 2013, cops were involved in 461 justifiable homicides. In almost every case but 3, they used guns to kill. In the Eric Garner case, they didn't use a gun, for example. That was this year. That was a chokehold. Now, Eugene Robinson gave more context to this in the Washington Post. He said the true number of fatal police shootings is surely much higher, however, because many law enforcement agencies do not report to the FBI database. And this is done on purpose. Jimmy Dore did a great interview here on the Young Turks. You can catch it on TYT Interviews with a person who's trying to put together the database for cops killing citizens. Cops don't want to cooperate with that. They try to hide those numbers as much as possible, including from the FBI. So, attempts by journalists to compile more complete data by collating local news reports have resulted in estimates as high as 1,000 police killings a year. Now, we are told every time, and recently in the case of the 12-year-old shot in Cleveland, that the cops have no choice, that they had to come in and shoot a 12-year-old kid in 2 seconds flat, literally, okay, because they had no choice. Well, what's interesting is the cops in other countries have found plenty of choices. So how many justifiable homicides, cops killing citizens, it's a funny way to like assume that it's justifiable, in Canada happened in the same year? 12. Now, it's not like Canada doesn't have guns. There's a lot of guns in Canada, right? But just 12 a year. Now, remember, ours is at least 461, but likely in the thousands. How about Germany? 8 in 2 years when cops shoot citizens. Almost never happens. And Germany's a much larger country than Canada, and obviously we're larger than both of them, but the numbers are wildly disproportionate either way. How about Great Britain? I mean, they're the closest to us in terms of culture. Oh, look at that. 0 in the past year. 0. Never happened. Okay, now, this is when people say, well, that's not fair. There aren't guns in Great Britain. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, and then, of course, those people will then later turn around and say, no, the British are very, they're in great danger. They're very unsafe because they don't have guns. Really? Doesn't look like it, right? Looks like they're pretty safe, including from their own cops. So if Great Britain has 0 deaths, and Germany averages 4 deaths a year from cops, and we're averaging anywhere between 461 and 1,000, is there a chance that we're doing something wrong? Remember, our cops are supposed to protect the citizens. That's theoretically their job description. Instead, we're killing them. The cops are killing the citizens. Those are our cops that we pay with our taxpayer money, okay? They work for us, theoretically. Yet they're killing us. And we're totally fine with it. There's nothing we can do. No other choice. Of course there's another choice. The problem is we're training them to kill. Don't take any chances. Don't take any chances. Now, people say, well, Cenk, now that's not fair. It's a very dangerous job. Now, I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But first, the guy who was putting together that database, Brian Burghard, he's with the Reno News and Review, and he explained who got killed by the cops. He says, you know who dies in the most population-dense areas? Black men. You know who dies in the least population-dense areas? Mentally ill men. It's not to say that there aren't dangerous and desperate criminals killed across the line, but African Americans and mentally ill people make up a huge percentage of people killed by police. So if they can't find any black guys around, they'll shoot the mentally ill. Because they're dangerous. I don't know, man. I'm going to try to assess whether the guy is mentally ill. I'm going to try to assess whether he's a 12-year-old or a 20-year-old, whether he's got a real gun or a toy gun or anything. I'm not going to assess. I'm going to shoot in 2 seconds flat because I don't want any danger to me. I want all the danger to go into the citizens. Okay, no. It's a very dangerous job, we're told. Really? Okay, well, let's look at the numbers. Huffington Post explains that a total of 76 law enforcement officers died in the line of duty in 2013. The FBI reported that, the week that they covered this story. Okay, that's interesting. Now, 76 is not as high as 1,000. It's not as high as the number of people they've killed, but that's a bad number, right? I feel terrible for the families of those officers. I do. Absolutely the case, right? You don't want a single officer dying. Oh wait, look at this caveat. Of those, 49 died in accidents, and 27 were killed as a result of felonious acts, the lowest such figure in more than 50 years of FBI reporting, dating back to at least 1961. So it turns out most of them actually died in traffic accidents, having nothing to do with the imminent danger of their jobs, just regular old traffic accidents. 27 were killed by criminals. You don't want a single one to happen, but let's give it context. How bad is that? Because we're told the cops they're in so much danger now, more than they've ever been in. Well, we just told you there's a 50-year low. If you're not convinced, the Bureau of Labor Statistics list of the 10 most dangerous professions doesn't include law enforcement officer. It's not even in the top 10 of most dangerous jobs, okay? And finally, we go to the National Law Enforcement Memorial Fund report. Now, these guys actually have higher numbers of cops killed in the FBI because they track this because they care a lot about this. They don't want any cops to die. Okay, so what is their conclusion? Firearms-related fatalities for cops reached a 126-year low. Cops are as safe as they have ever been, yet they shoot quicker than they ever have. Okay, now, you might say, hey, one of the reasons they are safer is because they kill you before they even ask you any questions. That's true, but don't come around pretending that they got a really unsafe job and they had to do it. No, they had plenty of choices, and they chose to kill hundreds of citizens instead of taking even the slightest chance with their lives or their health or their well-being. And that's what they're trained to do now, because they're not police, they're military at this point. We're not the citizens, we're the occupied, okay? They feel like occupying forces, and who's gonna bother to take the slightest chance you might turn an ankle, shoot within 2 seconds and shoot to kill? Now, as I told you, you don't have accurate numbers all across the country because cops refuse to report it. But in Utah, they did a little bit of extra reporting here and got the numbers. Get a load of this last part here. In Utah, for example, the Salt Lake City Tribune recently reported that police in the state were the second leading cause of homicide from 2010 to October 2014. Over that period, officers were responsible for more of the state's homicides than gang members, drug dealers, or child abusers. Now, in the case of Utah, it's not very racial, right? Obviously, got a lot of white folks in Utah. It's not like they're going around killing a lot of black guys. It happens from time to time, there's no question. So forget the component of race here. In this case, it shows you the cops are a threat to everybody. This is exactly what we've been talking about on the show. You think when they come for Tamir Rice and they come for Eric Garner, etc., that you're safe? Oh no, it's okay, they just do it to blacks. No, it's a pervasive attitude. Yes, it happens to African Americans more, according to the guy who tracks it. Yes, it happens to mentally ill people more. But it also happens to you and to regular citizens. It happens so often. Even in Utah, the cops kill more people than the gangs do. When is it going to get through your head? We're training them wrong. It's not that they're all evil. It's not that those particular guys were the worst of the worst. It's that we're telling them, don't take any chances, kill people the first opportunity just to make sure that you're perfectly safe. Well, you're a cop. We didn't hire you to be a mailman. We hired you to take some chances and to be responsible with the chances that you take to protect and serve us, not to kill us.